Good afternoon, gentlemen, and ladies, of course. Hey, okay, so we're now to part 4 of this build. Now, unfortunately, we had a problem with trying to show you how we were building this. Unfortunately, I got a camera that was sitting on a tripod, and I was busy recording away. I thought it was recording while I was working on it, and unfortunately I'd either shut off or it hadn't come on in the first place, and what I did was wasted, I'm afraid. So what we now have is we have the capacitors fitted. As you can see now, I've done my best with these. My eyesight isn't excuse me, isn't wonderful, but I think I've done a reasonable job of it. I've also wound the toroids and fit them. We've also started to work on the balancing as well. I've soldered this SMA onto the ground and the RF pin on the board. I mean, I think I told you I actually did this header wrong, so it's the wrong way around. So the method that DL to MAN has showed you won't work, I'm afraid, in this instance, so I've had to do it that way. Anyway, I've had a couple of QSOs with it and it's working, but the efficiency isn't as good as I'd like. It's only around about 65 to 68%, and the harmonics are a bit out. So you know, the second harmonic rejection's a bit out. So that's what I intend to do today. I'm going to make this the last video on this, to be fair. There's no point, because this was really to be about the build, and unfortunately it's not worked out the way I'd like it to have done. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. But as I say, the toroids are round, they're in place, all bands seem to operate, but as I say, the efficiency on some of the bands is not as good as I'd like it to be. I've this capacitor here to sort out. This is these ones that I fitted. I've now got further caps. I don't think some of the capacitors I've got are that great, even though they're marked as COG or NPO. I borrowed a heat camera from a friend, and some of them are getting warm and they shouldn't be, so I'm not so sure about the quality of the capacitors that I've ordered. I don't want to mention the manufacturer here on YouTube, so I've now reordered some capacitors from another source, from a different manufacturer, and those ones that are running warm will be replaced. That might be the whole issue. That might be all it is. So see, these little ones here, these are to come off. I've got the capacitors for those now, the correct surface mount ones, so that's fine. They actually weren't running warm, they were running cold. These ones and this one here was running cold as well. There was no issue, but it was the surface mount ones. Makes me wonder, actually, surface mount capacitors are really that wonderful. Anyway, that's a personal opinion. I may be wrong. But that is as it is. I'll try and zoom in a bit better. There we go. You get to see how we've done the caps. I mean, some of them are not beautiful, I'll admit that. You know, that one there needs to be cleaned up, those lands. But remember, I'm just using a magnifying glass and my reading glasses on at the same time. But I think it's a reasonable enough job. I don't know. That's actually okay there. That bridge is fine. That's not a problem. That's just the way the earths are in that anyway. So there we go. Anyway, that's it. So as I say, I'm going to make this the last video. As I say, it does work. It's working actually quite well, even though it's not 100% set up yet. So my next job is to get the VNA back out and set it up. Some of the SWR readings are not quite accurate, and I've done the modification to the wiring as per DL2 MAN, as we can see here. I just think there's something not quite right in that area. So there we go. But other than that, everyone seems to be working on it. On 10 meters, there is noise from this, and if we're running it from a higher voltage source, yes, it's not good. But running it off the USB, we don't get that noise. So this has been reported before, I believe, on the forum, and I think it might just be the fact we are we are, excuse me, excuse me, we are running this from 8 volts now through a regulator to give more brightness, and I wonder in actual fact if it's something to do with the fact we are running it at higher voltage. Perhaps the display unit produces more noise and it's getting picked up by something in the receiver. So that could be the issue. As I say, it works okay on USB, but once we start to feed it with anything above 8, well, once we get to about 7 to 8 volts, it starts to be noticeable. Once it's over 8, that's it. You know, it's the same all the way up to run it on 13 volts. Yeah, so it's it could be a problem, but it's only really noticeable on 10 meters, and if you press this button here to get into the menu, and as soon as you go into menu and there's less figures on the display, the noise disappears. So as I say, it might just be something to do with the fact we're running it slightly different to what has been specified earlier on. But it's not a huge problem. It's not such a great issue that it's going to cause a lot of problems. It's actually quite a low level, but I think you find when you're receiving it, it shouldn't be a station shouldn't be a problem. But if it is, I would probably be inclined to go back to the way it was wired originally. That's how I would do it. Anyway, that's that. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for looking at these videos. Sorry about the last. This one has not turned out the way I wanted it to do, but unfortunately, such is life. Things don't always work out the way you want it to do. And like I said at the start, it's mea culpa. I'm being totally honest and upfront about this video. I'm not cutting corners, and I'm not saying, oh, this is great, that's wonderful, when in actual fact it's not. This is an honest to goodness report of how I found it. It's not too bad to do, I have to say, but if you have issues with your eyes, I would be inclined not to do it. I would go for a ready built one. I mean, don't forget, this was a mod. This was the low band version, and we're changing it to classic band. So there's more involved because all these capacitors have to be removed. When you buy the kit, you don't have to fit the SMD components. You're doing the toroids. You're fitting these, the relays. You're fitting the display. You're fitting the sockets. The switches, the rotary encoder, these are the kind of things in the microphone which is in itself is actually no problem at all, even if you've got not the best of eyesight. But I have to say, if you're going to do a mod from the low band to the high band or to the classic bands with the existing board, if you have eyesight issues, forget it. Wait till Sonny has the boards manufactured and go down that road. That's exactly what I would do. In fact, I might even just be trying to get a board, an RF board, probably the classic bands from Sonny, and also a high band version. So basically it means I can have the option of going both ways with this. I've already got the other one, of course, this one here, which is the low band version, which I'm happy with, and I'm not changing anything on that. That's staying the way it is. But this was my experimental one. Okay, guys, that's it. No point in going any further with this video. Thanks for watching anyway. Hopefully you've got something from it. Maybe not as much as I'd like to have given you, but hopefully, yes, it has been in some way helpful. Okay, thank you, and again, very much congratulations to Manuel and Guido regarding this radio, as it is a very good radio, and I've had some very good success. Just very briefly, just before I finally go away, our club, which is Kilmarnock and Loudon Amateur Radio Club, we were taking part in the Jubilee stations 2 Saturdays ago, and we were all set up, and the guys there had got their very expensive radios out, and they were not getting anywhere really, and I said, oh, give me a shot till I bring this wee thing in. So I connected this up to the antenna, had my battery pack, which is my homemade thing here, out of a, hold on till I bring it into view, this thing here, which is a Dyson battery with a little 12 inverter there, and the output, very simple, just a lash up. Connected that up to it, and connected the antenna, and I think it was the second time I called, I got a reply from a German station with a 5/9 and a 5/9 back, and they were very, very miffed that this little radio was the first radio that got a contact on that day. So yes, I think it's gone down extremely well, and because of that, it's raised a lot of interest. So I think maybe Sonny, you might be getting a lot more work. Okay, thank you guys, thanks for looking at these videos, and we'll be back soon with something else. Cheers for now, bye bye.